All right, let's get this started. Peace, beloveds. Welcome back to this video. This one's about to get really deep and spicy. We're just gonna honestly get right into it. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Emerald, and please, you know, the thing that I love about you the most is that you just hit that like and subscribe button. I just love that about you. All jokes aside, let's get into this Pluto through the 12 houses in regards to the divine feminine, what Pluto is, how it brings out the divine feminine, the dark feminine energy. I'm super stoked because I also wrote a blog post that corresponds to this, so definitely go ahead and read that. That has different vibrations. I was typing, it was flowing, so you gotta read that and watch this video in correspondence in order to get the full picture. My blog is greenvibeswellness.com/blog. Just go ahead and visit it and check out the other articles that I've written too. I have over 50 articles that I've written. I just love writing. So stay updated by subscribing to this channel and just staying here and vibing. Let's go ahead and get into it. Pluto. This is seen as the dark energy, the dark deep evil energy that is carried within our charts. However, of course, due to my astrology observations and the downloads that I've personally received, I see Pluto as something completely different, and I see Pluto as the pure planet of power and how our power gets taken away and how we can reclaim our power back to ourselves. This is the Pluto path. One thing that I definitely want to point out that I've recognized is that Pluto doesn't cause these things. Pluto doesn't cause trauma. Pluto doesn't cause pain. It just shows us where and when it's happening in our chart and how it kind of evolves us through adulthood. Something that I find super interesting is through Pluto's pain, we also gain power. For example, let's say that a child is being abused physically in the home. Not only is the child the victim of that, but also becomes that. Do you feel that? It's like a pull. It's like whatever hurt you is now a part of you. And so that's Pluto's kind of pain path, is that you have to get through your own pain that has been inflicted on you personally. You have your own personal kind of pain, and no one else's pain can compare to yours. That's why we should never compare traumas. You're like, oh, this happened to me. Oh, that was worse than that happened to me. Oh, that was worse. Nothing is worse or better because you come with your own particular traumatic kind of lessons in life. So you can't compare anybody's trauma to yours. Your trauma is your own trauma, and it hurt you in a specific kind of way. And Pluto can show you that specific kind of way if you take Pluto's hand down to the underworld. So my mom was like really big on two Disney movies, freaking Mulan and Hercules, and I can definitely see why. She's got like Mars in her first house. She's a warrior at heart, right? But what I really found interesting about rewatching Hercules is how Hades is portrayed, and he truly is this dark prince, and he actually was in Mount Olympus before with the other gods, but Zeus specifically put him down there in charge of the souls. What I found during my research was interesting about Hades is that death and like prayer and like begging and even sacrifice, he didn't care about any of that. He didn't care about any of that. He never bat an eye to somebody when they were praying, when they sacrificed. He was just like honestly so disgusted with the whole thing. I found that really interesting. And also his three-headed dog Cerberus in the Greek mythology sounds very, very familiar to the Egyptian mythology, which of course is the story of Osiris and Anubis. Anubis was the first god of the underworld before Osiris got literally ripped apart by his brother Set, was pulled together by Isis and his other sisters and brothers, of course, and was made god of the underworld. But he was the first king of Egypt, technically. So I was like researching all these things, and you know, a couple of things clicked here and there, but really the energy of Pluto in our chart as trauma and as transformation can be seen almost as a heroic journey towards the inner depths of ourselves, and we come out into heaven. So like that example that I gave about the child being abused in home, the way that you were particularly abused is the way that your power was stripped from you. And in that moment of power being stripped away, you couldn't retain it back because you were just a child. But now as an adult, you can see Where was my power taken from me? How did this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? And how can I reclaim that part of me back? Pluto looks like depression, anxiety, a lot of stress in your life, a lot of loneliness, desolation. I'm talking about really dark thoughts. And you know the thoughts that we're talking about. I have personally been in Pluto's grasp quite a long time, okay, quite a while, until I realized the trauma that happened to me and I took that power back. And it was like regenerating a whole new me again. Pluto represents birth, life, death, and rebirth. We have to understand that those are actually feminine cycles. And what makes Pluto our deliciously dark feminine is that she has boundaries now. She can fulfill her obligation to spirit now because her power is come back to her, because her power was stripped away, but now it's come back to her. And so she has boundaries. She doesn't take anybody's shit. She only magnetizes things that she desires, and she has deep desires now. A divine feminine who has not healed her wounded inner self or has not integrated her dark side will always end up being taken for granted and taken advantage of. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how strong your light is. You need the dark, because only in the dark can you transform, be rebirthed, and be truly nurtured in your own inner depths. You don't know yourself unless you've gone to the dark side of yourself. And that is where pure energy and power lies. Of course, if you're watching this video, you already have probably gone through the plutonian transformational lessons, right? Okay, great. So you know how tough it is and how hard it can be to actually pull through your traumas, and how hard it can be to get through those repressed memories. The more that you repress them, the angrier and bitterer you will get, the worse it will be for you and the people around you, because you still act out on your repressed emotions. You still act out on those repressed memories and on those repressed traumas. It's repressed, but it's still coming up in little ways. You know, a person who murders a cat and doesn't know why, you know, is like hyperventilating because it comes up. No matter what, it will come up again. And if you don't face it, if you don't integrate it, if you don't say, holy fucking shit, this is me. This is me. You have to remember, like, this is me. And you accept that part of yourself. Then you can fully integrate the plutonian power and reclaim your instinctual expression. That's what Pluto really is. Pluto wants you to be for real. Pluto is the one really saying, like, be for real. Like, be fucking for real. Like, I can see you all the way in the back. Pluto is the furthest planet from the sun. Pluto can see all your actions. All the actions from all the other planets. It can see how you really doing, right? Pluto is saying, be fucking for real with yourself. Get deep. See what really happened. And embrace that part of yourself. And don't just say, oh, well, it happened, so, like, I'm okay with it. It's not about being okay with it. It's literally about letting the anger rise. It's about letting your expression, your emotion rise up again, reclaiming it as yours because it was taken from you. The little kid who got hit, he couldn't get angry and hit his father back because he knew that he would be in even more danger. He had to stop that side of himself, but he knew that inside he was a warrior. Right? He was a warrior. He wanted to protect himself, his family, everybody, but he was unable to because he was little. Now that projects as you being in a low-end job, being disrespected, being stepped all over, all types of things in the name of peace, because you feel like you're going to get hurt again. But when you reclaim that energy again and you stand up for yourself and you're dominant, we're not talking about throwing punches here, but if it's necessary for you to gain your power back, then go ahead, because it was taken that way. It was taken that way, right? Doesn't mean that you have to go murdering people, but you need to integrate your dark plutonian energy in a more transformational way that evolves you and gets you higher up on the spiritual ladder as opposed to down further into the underworld. You want to trek into the underworld to see yourself, but you don't need to stay there. You're allowed to take your power back into the middle. You don't need to go all the way up back to the light. You need to stay where you are right now, which is we're in earth, we're in life. We haven't died. We have these spiritual experiences, which are death, life, birth, rebirth, all of that. We have those spiritual experiences so that we don't have to do them in the physical, okay? Whew. The last kind of metaphor I want to give for Pluto is, think about Pluto when you're playing a video game and your mission is to defeat the Dark Master, right? But the Dark Master is seen in every level. Imagine you're playing a video game and you have to defeat the dragon, but through every single level you see the dragon's destruction and you see it up more and more and more, and you get more and more angry until you finally have all of the energy so that you can slay the dragon. Imagine if you were just going to the dragon like lollygagging, like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna kill this dragon and it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be chill. No, you need to have some type of energy in order to kill that dragon. You need to have some type of mission, vision, purpose in going to kill that dragon, and it's because the dragon has harmed you in some way. So when you finally kill the dragon, guess what you get? You get its scales, you get its teeth, you get its magic, you get all of the parts of the dragon, and it becomes part of you. So your pain becomes part of your own armor, of your own shield, of your own power, of your own magic. The only way to actually work with Pluto is to be passionate about something, is to be deep, dark, and intense with something. Like when you look at somebody and they have such an intense stare, you know that they're trying to get to the depths of your soul to pull you out. You're making the unconscious conscious, and that's Pluto's whole path, making the unconscious part of you conscious again, the part that you had to suppress in order to survive. Pull it back out again now in your later years and see how it makes you this magical, powerful person. What's funny is when we talk about the unconscious, you want to think about vampires, right? Things that are hidden away. The bat is basically everyone's subconscious national bird. It's like what represents the darkness for us. We think about vampires, we think about werewolves, we think about dark things, but those dark things have power, don't they? They're very strong in their own essence. Of course, they have their own little weakness, sunlight or whatever, but they spend their whole life refining their lives so that their weaknesses do not take their lives away from them. They spend their whole lives trying to figure out how to make this weakness a strength. It's crazy. You need to learn from how to make your weaknesses your strengths. All right, loves, let's go ahead and hop into Pluto through the houses. This will be a little quick slip. And of course, if you want a deeper channeling for your own chart, get a reading with me, get a session with me, greenvibeswellness.com. Hit me up anytime, I'm here. I also highly recommend that you look at where Pluto is right now in your transit chart as opposed to your birth chart. For me, Pluto was in my 11th house, and now Pluto's in my 1st house, transiting into my 2nd house now. So I'm going to want to listen to the 11th, the 1st, and the 2nd, and possibly the 3rd. All right, let's go ahead and get into it, starting with the 1st house. Pluto in the 1st house is very in your face. It's also very painful. It's also very long. I'm hearing very long. It's very traumatic. It's like a very long event that just continuously happens to you. And in the end, you start to kind of get numb to it. I feel like you're getting numb to your pain when you have Pluto in the 1st house. And you can't be numb to it, because the whole reason that you have the wound is because people took you for granted. People took advantage of you, and they saw your own power before you saw your power, and they decided to use your power before you could utilize it. So now in this later life, you just feel like that's normal, and it's not normal. Nobody should be taking your power away from you, or be taking your power and using it. Like, I feel like you're the type of person who's just like the mad genius behind the scenes. You can't be behind the scenes anymore. You need to step up in the front. You're supposed to be in the front. Pluto in the 1st house, you can't be afraid to shine and radiate that darkness. It's irradiating. These are like the real villains here, okay? I'm feeling like for real Cruella de Vil, like identity crisis, okay? Serious identity crisis, because you could have suppressed and repressed so much of yourself due to the traumatic things that happened in your life. So you need to step up. I really feel like I actually know a couple of people with Pluto in the 1st house, and they be like undercover with everything. And of course you want to be undercover, but later in life you need to step out again, because the reason you're undercover is because you had so much in you. People really took their time to like poo you down. They could not handle you. They couldn't handle you, so they did everything in their power to suppress you, and you decided to take that on yourself. Now it's a remembrance that you are supposed to be up in front. You are supposed to be taking charge, and you're supposed to be the one in power, leading or controlling or demanding other people, not the other way around. Pluto in the second house. Whoa. Yo, it's just like so crazy because I start like channeling these things and like I feel the energy shifting, like even from the first house, like they're cool and all, but Pluto in the second? Are you serious right now? We're talking about our self-esteem. We're talking about our self-value. We're talking about who we really are on the inside of ourselves. You are power. You are dark energy. And you've been, ooh, I already know, yo, you've been through it. You've been through it. You've had so many self-transformations, haven't you? You've gone through so many different identities. You tried to find power here, there, with that person, with that idea, with that kind of, everything's been outside of yourself. And it hasn't been satisfying, has it been? With Pluto in the second house, you are so magnetic. You are so rich, baby. Did you know that Pluto rules over wealth? We thought Venus, yeah, okay, this is the house of Venus, right? So the fact that you got Pluto and Venus up in here, Pluto rules wealth. Why? Because the rarest gems are found in the darkest caves. You are a rare gem. You are very, very rare yourself. And you are very secretly, hiddenly powerful in your identity, in your knowing of who I am. This is who I am. And of course, the people in today's world, how you got your power taken away was nobody wants to see that, right? Everybody wants everyone else to feel bad about themselves. They want to see people be humble. They want to see people slip up, right? So they tried everything in their own power to make you feel like you weren't good enough, that you weren't worthy enough. But with Pluto here, this is the master. Okay? This is the okay? Are you for real? Be for real. Pluto in the second? Okay, the fact that my Pluto is actually transiting into the second house makes me feel real good, okay? Because the way that we reclaim this power is by taking back what was taken from us, right? So if somebody, you probably had a lot of people like stealing money, stealing things from you, right? So now you never will allow that to happen again. You have boundaries now. Pluto in the second needs the most boundaries. You need to have so many boundaries that nobody can get in at all. You literally are living in the depths of hell, okay? And I bet you've been thinking that you've been living in your own personal hell for such a long time because you've been taken for granted and taken advantage of in this way, that you are deep in your own personal hell, like at times. Hopefully you've been evolving and stepping up further and further and further, like kind of like out of the underworld and back into balance. But the riches and the gems that you personally have, that you were born with, is undeniable. You are naturally supposed to be very wealthy, very rich, and very powerful in your life. Pluto in the second house. Pluto in the third house. Hey, Pluto in the third house. Why I start singing? Why? Probably because your voice is powerful AF and you've been sleeping on your own voice. You just been chilling. I know that Pluto in the third house, you've got to have the most sensual voices. Oh my goodness. Your voice and the words that you speak transform people. You just speak and people be shook. They don't know what to do. You question people. You question things a lot. You are a deep thinker, a deep diver. You really like to pry underneath people, okay? I feel you. I love it too. That's the water in the third house, okay? That's water in the third. Like, let me see the real you. Let me think about things extra deep, okay? But I feel here how you got your power taken away is that you started really overthinking and underestimating your own capacity. You started underestimating your own thinking capability. You started thinking so deeply that people around you, they're not at that level. They're not at that level. So the way that you think, the things that you say, they scare others away. Okay, you see how I rhymes right there all day. Okay, right? So we're talking in rhymes here. You need to write down these things. I feel like you're a poet, an artist, a singer, some type of creative, because Pluto loves to be creative. Pluto is the ultimate creatrix because Pluto literally creates and destroys. So you like to remake things over and over again. And that's your power, right? You need to take back your power of speech. When people feel uncomfortable around you, you feel that too, because you're probably honestly like an empath. Like, I feel like with you having Pluto in the third house, you know, that's a sensitive energy, and you can feel, you can like telepathically like hear and feel other people's thoughts, right? So when you're prying deep and people aren't comfortable, you probably are like, oh damn, like I can't even go that far because, you know, they can't hold on. But you need to make sure that you're writing things out and that you're speaking your truth, speaking the truth, and taking your power back through honestly, like, just like analyzing things how you usually do. Don't be ashamed or afraid to overanalyze things in people. That's just what you do naturally, and that's where your skill comes in. But don't let it take you down into your own depths of hell for so long that you start to overthink about your own life, that you start to overthink about your own like everything. Okay, you need to really take control of your mind. Take control of your mind. Take your power back from your mind. Don't let people play mind games with you. Don't let people manipulate you. You manipulate them. Okay, like, this is how we got to do it, because again, you will be Pluto. Like, you have these things in you. You're a manipulator. Manipulation isn't bad. It's just shifting energy around, but you can do that with your words. That's powerful. That's so powerful. Like and subscribe. Pluto in the fourth house. Ooh, ouch. Yikes. Okay. I'm hearing terror. I'm hearing and feeling terror. That is crazy. A lot of womb healing energy needs to happen here. A lot of mother energy, parental. This is really suppressed, dark family energy here. Okay, Pluto in the fourth, like, these are hidden secrets, real hidden, like Uncle Tommy had his way with cousin Sammy type of thing, you know, like, that's tough. And these are secrets that you've been required to hide. They could be used against you. You could use this against other people. I feel like there's a lot of blackmail that could be happening here with Pluto in the fourth house. This is the energy of like birthing darkness into the world. Ooh, this is deep. Hold on, give me a second. Golly, this shit kind of deep right now. Channeling Pluto is literally not a joke. Like, Pluto in the fourth house. Pluto in the fourth house. A deep need for nurturance. A deep feeling of desolation. A deep feeling of not belonging is how your power got taken away. You weren't nurtured enough. Your power wasn't nurtured. It was, I kind of am like getting an image of a plant coming up from the surface and somebody cutting it off, right? You're always, and the thing is, you're not stopping. They're just coming back out day by day and cutting your plant. You keep growing though. So now hopefully you've allowed yourself to actually grow enough into a tree. But what I'm hearing and what I'm feeling is that you've decided to have people in your life that will continue to cut at your tree. So you need to make sure that you're taking your power back from those people, and you need to burn the scissors. Take the scissors away, okay? You don't need to be cutting your own tree either. What actually, you know what you can do? You can trim some things off. You're allowed to trim some things, but you can no longer allow people to come into your life and keep cutting your growth. You are allowing people to come in and cut your growth. So you need to really wind that back, see that that's the Pluto dark wound, and get everybody out of your garden right now. Like, it's gonna be a mass evacuation. You need to let off some type of poison or something. It's gonna be a mass evacuation. Get everybody out of your garden right now, okay? You need to tend to this garden, and only you, and only you. It's your growth. It's for you, and you need to tend to it, okay? Stop allowing people into this garden to mess up your garden beds and to cut up your newly fresh creative life. You have a lot of life here. This is pure womb energy in the house of the mother, right? Pluto is the womb. It's the darkest, deepest energy that we need to regenerate and to heal ourselves. For you to have this in the house, it's deep, and you're carrying your mothers, your grandmothers. They're all Y'all went through it. But the thing about this also is that I'm hearing a lot of spiritual energy, a lot of protection around you, a lot of good spiritual magical abilities that you have, because this is in the fourth house. Your root system is Pluto. You're actually kind of where you need to be, which is in the underworld, right? You're in the underworld, and that's why you're growing like this. You're trying to grow up to the top, right? Because you're already rooted in that dark energy where you need to grow, where it's most soil and it's most nutrient. You are a very nutritious person. I know that sounds so weird, but like, you can grow anything. You can do anything that you want. You got Pluto in the fourth. Okay, so recognize that, take your power back. The fact that you are actually capable of growing any type of life that you desire. You are the Garden of Eden in here. Are you playing right now? Like and subscribe. Pluto in the fifth house. Oh my gosh. Like, y'all are brilliant. Hold up right now. This is like such an energy switch from Pluto in the fourth. Like, Pluto in the fifth house, you are so smart. You are so creative and intelligent. Like, I'm really feeling like you master the things that you like to have fun with. You master your crafts, your hobbies. You know, people can have hella hobbies. You probably have so many hobbies and you're actually mastering them without even realizing. You're just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go over here and paint, and then you end up like in museums and you're like, okay, next. I'm just gonna go ahead and like play this instrument for like 100 years and I mastered. Okay, next. Okay, a lot of people are envious of you. In the fifth house, this is Leo energy shining through. This is your friends. This is your romantic adventures, how you like to flirt, how you like to just like be out there, how you like to shine. And you shine your darkness. And you probably have had a lot of friends who have tried to suppress your power. Specifically, your friends group have always tried to make you seem like you're less than, right? Because that's the Pluto path. You had to have that happen in order to reclaim your power, in order to find friends that really invigorate you and really make you feel like, oh, I am powerful, or like, these people I can trust. It's the thing about trust too, is what I'm really feeling. You have huge trust issues with your friends specifically, and with romantic adventures, because you see that people try to take advantage of your power and they just want you because you're so magnetic. You're so magnetic. You have so many skills and talents. People can't handle it with that fifth house energy. Come on. So when they see all that power, they want it for themselves. So people have exploited your talents, and you've allowed that because that's the Pluto wound. You've allowed people to exploit your creative adventures, your talents, whatever you were doing that you just naturally enjoyed. You allowed people to exploit that, including mystical, magical practices, because Pluto is spirituality. Pluto is the pure spiritual force, which is that deep, dark energy. So you having that in the fifth house, you're an explosion of just magnificence is the word coming through. Magnificence. You are magnificent, okay? And so when you don't have friends that reflect that to you, when you have friends that kind of reflect the ugly parts of you, that shows you why you don't have the power that you feel you deserve, because you surround yourself with darkness that reflects the darkness within you, but it's not a powerful darkness. It's a kind of darkness to keep you humble. That's what I'm hearing. You like to be around people who are kind of lower than you, to remind you. It's interesting. Okay, that's all I'm getting for Pluto in the fifth house. Comment below if you resonated with that. That was a little weird one, okay? Pluto in the sixth house. Ooh, okay. Number one, this is someone who is either really sexy or really sickly, okay? Yeah, there's no in between with that one. Yeah, because Virgo energy in the sixth house. This is purifying. This is my pure body. This is my temple. This is how I work day to day. This is my mind. This is everything. We got Pluto here. How is your power taken away from you? Through your health, through your purity, through your well-being, through your kindness, through your service. You are the type of person to serve and like never stop serving. You are in your own hell. You are just serving so much that you are literally ending up in your own hell. And so the way that you backlash, or the way that you really feel inside, is you're upset that nobody's serving you, but you feel like you cannot stop serving, okay? So how you take your power back is by stopping and realizing that you need to be a servant to yourself only. Yeah, I know it's hard. I know it's hard. But you gotta do it. You gotta do this one, all right? You gotta be a servant to yourself. Serve your dark desires. Serve yourself so that you are not giving your power away to other people that you are serving. Because your service is quite literally extremely powerful and needed and necessary. This is plutonian energy in the 6th house. You are just giving away millions of dollars here. You're just giving away the gems, okay? Pluto is the master of wealth. Why? Because only the purest gems are found in the darkest of caves, okay? You are one of those gems here. This is 2nd house, 6th house, 10th house. This is all the earth houses, right? The earth houses matter. When you have Pluto here, you are wealthy. You are naturally wealthy. You are naturally powerful, and you are naturally meant to take the lead. You are a type of person who wants to stand back and let everybody else kind of do it. Like, okay, just let them do it. Yeah. Because you feel afraid of your own power. If you get into power, you know how kind of crazy you can get. Because the 6th house is the house of perfectionism. It has to be perfect. It has to be just like that, right? Pluto wants that for you, baby, but you're scared. You're scared of failure. I feel like you got your power taken away because you failed at something one time. One time, probably, literally. And you kept making a habit out of it because you felt subconsciously, that's what I deserve. And that's not true. Pluto here, you need to take back your power, take back your body, take back your health, your wellness, and start serving yourself. Pluto in the 7th. Now, you damn well know what I'm about to say. You know what I'm about to say. You gave your heart away. Why'd you give your heart away? Don't be giving your heart away to nobody. Are you serious? Are you serio? Pluto in the 7th house, relationships, how you treat yourself, honestly, the magneticism that you have in this house. Are you for real? You are rare, baby. You are one of a kind. And the fact that you allowed your self-value to diminish so much, that you allowed people to play on your heart, is your dark wound, okay? That's your trauma. You allowed people to take advantage of you, to play with you, to do a lot of things when we got Pluto here. Damn, okay? I'm not even gonna zoom. You know what happened to you, your specific trauma, okay? This is how you got your power taken away. What Spirit is specifically saying is that you belong to nobody but your damn self and Spirit. That's it. You are here to show people how to be sovereign within yourself. Because imagine if you're in a relationship and this person doesn't have Pluto here too, or this person does have Pluto here too, and your Plutos are conjunct. It's a huge power struggle, a huge unveiling of trauma. The thing about Pluto is it's a very individual quest. You can't really have anybody helping you. You just can't. Like, people will either like, they'll show you, they can definitely show you, they can mirror to you like where your traumas are, how you lost your power, how you continually keep losing your power. This is Emerald.
I wanted to apologize if you heard a lot of racket, like banging on the walls and yelling. He has some behavioral issues sometimes, and yeah, he kind of had a freak out. So I wanted to apologize.
Okay, I could not play that whole phone call, but literally the interesting thing about me filming this video and writing my blog on Pluto today is that my neighbors literally had a plutonian moment, like an act of rage, and you have to allow the rage to come out of you. I feel like with Pluto in the 7th house, y'all probably have major anger issues with your partners, with people around you, because they continue to suppress or not see or not validate you in a way that you need to be seen and validated, right? It's because this is a personal path. Only you can validate yourself. Only you can conquer yourself. You like to be dominant, you like to control. That's fine. Okay, that's part of your power. But when you give those parts away because you're trying to be good, you're trying to be nice, you don't want to be hurt again, this is where you realize the maturity and the true power of tapping into Pluto here, is that you deserve to have access to that once again. Oh my God, I know I'm not about to get into Pluto in the 8th house. Who got Pluto in the 8th? Are y'all? Comment down below if you alive. Pluto in the 8th house. Are you for real? I'm sitting here telling everybody else, oh, you got the power, you got the power. Y'all got the power. Are you serious? Pluto in the 8th house? Detrimental, number one. I already feel it in my soul. This is a detrimental placement, yo. You have been through it, especially with your family is what I'm hearing, especially in your past lives. You have been through it. Okay, Spirit saying this is a karmic lesson for you. If you haven't learned in your past lives, it's been attached to you. You've actually given your power away a couple of lifetimes is what I'm feeling and hearing. So now with Pluto in the 8th house, it's like really in your face. It's really in your face. Like, are you going to handle this, or are you going to let it handle you? Damn. That's deep. That's deep. Okay, so what I do want to reaffirm is, number one, Pluto is the planet of wealth. So you will find a lot of wealth here in the 8th house. The 8th house is the house of wealth. Okay, we literally have Pluto at home here in the house of Scorpio in the 8th house, right? So you are meant to be very powerful and meant to be very, 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 very wealthy in your life, because you can only find the rare gems in the darkest caves, okay? This is why Pluto and Hades rules over wealth, because the darker and the deeper you go, the shinier things actually become. But you can't see them unless you bring them back out of the dark and into the light, right? You don't know what kind of riches you have until you shine the light on them. So you need to stop undervaluing yourself. Stop thinking that your moods are too much. You feel like you have an emotional crisis like every second. This is what I'm channeling. This is what I'm feeling for you. I totally understand. Like, this is crazy chaos that you've been going through in your own mind, in your own life, especially with family. So there could have been a lot of deaths happening in the family, some traumatic things, some secrets that you've had to hide. Talk to the Pluto in the 4th house people. They're hiding secrets too, okay? It's the secretness. It's the having to keep it low key or else you're going to get hurt kind of energy. So there could be blackmail here, right? You need to uncover that and realize that you are actually the secret. They're trying to hide you. You're trying to hide yourself now. You've taken on the lead of others and you've continued your trauma through time because you're acting out on it subconsciously. Now you think you're the problem. You think you're the big deal. You think that you have all these issues. You don't. These are your power player moves and you need to access them again. Access them. You are meant to be unpredictable, a little chaotic, a little sensual, a little extra sexual. You're meant to have that power, and the more that you try to deny and suppress it, the worse it becomes, the sadder you become, the more distraught you become. You're supposed to have power in this life. You can't keep giving it away. Like and subscribe. Pluto in the 9th house. Whoa. Okay. Yo, you're a major channeler of spirit. Are you serious? You've been sleeping on your spiritual abilities. You be the one to see ghosts. You be the one to be claircognizant, clairvoyant, clair everything. Okay, we're talking about Pluto, the magical planet in the ninth house of higher spiritual knowledge. Are you for real right now? This is fire mixed with extra hot fire, okay? This is someone who is super intense if they want to be. But I bet you that's your wound. Your wound is that your intensity and your passion got stripped away from you. They said you're doing too much. You are literally the person who probably does too much. With Sagittarius energy and Pluto, this is intensity on top of enthusiasm and excitement. You crazy. You are probably crazy. You are so connected to spirit and you are so connected to the divine realm that you cannot suppress that. And the reason why you probably felt so hard on yourself, like, are my ideas good enough? Are my thoughts good enough? I need to calm this down type of thing. I need to turn it down a notch. All of those conditionings and beliefs that created the wound, you need to flip the script and integrate it with yourself. You are easily excited. You are easily excitable. You are passionate about things. You love to dive deep into every subject that you want, right? Not what anybody else wants for you, what you want to learn, what you care about learning about, what your spiritual path is. You can't learn from anybody else. This is huge right here. You're meant to be a spiritual leader. You're not meant to follow anybody. You are meant to specifically lead. Okay? And the way this probably shows up, I bet you're the type of person to love watching spiritual gurus, to love watching spiritual videos and getting ideas. But you realize at the end of the day that only your ideas are more powerful than anybody else's. Even me right now, like, I'm ashamed to say, but you probably got more to say about this subject than I do, okay? You can probably channel it hardcore than I can. Pluto in the ninth house of spiritual ascension and knowledge. Tap into your abilities again and don't let anybody undercut you. Stop undercutting yourself. You need to integrate this excitement, this passion, this enthusiasm that you have for life itself back into your body. You need to get excited for life. You're the type of person, if this Pluto wound really cut you deep, you're the type of person who's an atheist. You don't believe in anything. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in nothing. You don't believe in no afterlife. Nothing. Because Pluto could drag you so down deep in your own hell that you don't even see your own spiritual insight, your own spiritual light, because it's so much that you see. You need to sit down with yourself and say, I like this. This makes me feel powerful when I do these practices. You are meant to be a spiritual leader. You have to practice a lot of things in order to know what you actually are good at, which you're probably good at all of it. But you need to figure out what you actually want to do with it. Like and subscribe this video. Pluto in the 10th house. Oh my goddess. You are a boss bitch. Okay. Either that, or because Pluto is the dark wound as well, you probably feel a little why is nothing going right? Why are there so many changes in my career? Why do I feel so topsy-turvy? Why can't I get my shit together? You want to know why? It's because you've allowed other people to chatter up in your ear what you should be doing. You've allowed too many other people to influence you. You are meant to be a leader. You are a legacy holder. We are talking about Pluto at the top of the chart here. You are capable of anything. You need to get along with Pluto in the 3rd house because they can do a lot of stuff too, all right? Communicate with more people. Express your power. You're like a gang leader. I'm not playing right now. You're like a gang leader. I bet you, Pluto in the 11th house could be too, low-key. Because you're leading people. They see you. They see your power. Only you feel bad about it. That's your dark wound. You are a jack of all trades. You can make something so beautiful, so perfect, so incredible, so magnetic very quickly. And so in your life, people have seen that and have gotten extremely jealous of you. They don't like that you got all that power, and they don't, right? That's the Pluto wound. People see your power before you do, and they suppress and put a cap on your power before you can even access it, right? You have so much charisma. You have so many ideas inside of you that come directly from the dark feminine energy, the dark spiritual energy, which is the creator energy. Dark energy is the creator energy. You marinate in the oven, you marinate in the womb, right? You are a master of ideas and you have a lot of these things that come up, but for some reason you keep suppressing it, not thinking that your ideas are good enough. I'm not good enough. Like, now you damn well know you gotta cut shit with that one. You gotta cut it with that one. Pluto in the house of Capricorn. That's all I'm gonna say. Like and subscribe this video. Pluto in the 11th house. Ooh, this is my placement too. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. The 11th house is the house of community, right? But not technically our friends. So there's the first hitter right there, okay? You're not supposed to be making friends with the people that are in your community. And I know this sounds crazy, but I've learned this the hard way. The people in your community are here to transform you, here to shift you, here to change you, and that's why you've had bad experiences with that, right? You feel completely isolated from your community. You feel like you're different. You feel like you need to be in leadership. If somebody else is in power, you immediately get jealous. Immediately you're like, I don't want to be in this group. You don't like being in groups because you're meant to be an individual who leads a group. You are meant to lead groups of people in society. You are not meant to be a part of the group. You are meant to lead the group. Personally, for me, like literally I've joined so many like online groups, in-person groups, and when I see that somebody else is the leader, I just get upset. Yeah, I just get really mad because I see where things could be better. I see where I can make that more. I see where I can magnetize that more, right? But then the other part of the wound is feeling like when you get into that leadership position, when you feel like you want to be a part of your community and you try to have power over your community, it's like too much sometimes. It slips through the cracks. It's too much pressure. All these little things, right? Because in the 11th house, we are dealing with Aquarius, Uranus, electric energy. It's very changeable. Pluto is transformational. So we're dealing with fast change and transformation. It's not going to be that sweet all the time, okay? Sometimes, I think a lot of us need to hear this, sometimes you can start a group and then leave it to somebody else to lead because you like change. You don't want to stay in the same group forever. You don't want to have to lead the same people forever. You like change. So you're going to switch it up. Switch up the group. Switch up the societal things that you're in. You were in the knitting club, now you're in the chess club. Now you're in the math club, now you're in the science club. For me, we're in the astrology club, we're in the numerology club. We're in the Life Path 7 club, we're in the Animals Give Life Love. Okay, we're in all types of clubs, but the thing is, like, you like to watch and observe, but at the end of the day, you're only watching and observing because that's how somebody put you in your place, right? You're meant to be observing and in power. You're not just meant to be in the background of the group. You're supposed to be in the foreground of the group, giving your expertise, giving your power in a way that leads the group but doesn't take anything from you. I feel like a lot of people pleasing could happen here, a lot of overextending to groups, a lot of trying to fit in. Trying to fit in, yeah, it's not going well. Yeah, and you end up having loss in the community. So the power that you take back is just realizing that you start the communities, you lead the groups, you get on social media and you speak up for what your life is like and how you like to live, how you have control over your power, right? Because Plutonian power here, and you're going to be very spiritually aware in your community. You're going to be a spiritualist. You're going to get into all of the spiritual stuff to teach the group and lead the group on a more spiritual path, right? Because Pluto here is the divine womb energy. We're growing something here. You grow a community, you grow the ideas, and you let them flourish. Because it's the 11th house, you like to change things up, and that's okay. And I feel like part of you would be stagnant if you decided to stay in something that you don't like to stay in. You like change, embrace change. You have to in order to keep growing. Like and subscribe this video. All right, Pluto in the 12th house. This is so funny because it just started storming outside. Pluto in the 12th house. Are you okay? Are you there? Pluto in the 12th house, I feel like y'all are in the depths. Just in the depths. Like all the time. Like swimming, deep diving. You're like an orca / jellyfish. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Ask yourself, okay? I really feel like with Pluto in the 12th house, you have prophetic insights. You have prophetic dreams. You are a prophet. You can see things in the future. You can see how things have been destroyed and the destructiveness of things and how it benefited. You can see the benefit of evil. I know. That's like, it's crazy to say, but you can. You see all aspects of it now. You're a 12th houser. Pluto here? Pluto is literally the subconscious in the house of the subconscious, all right? You are deep in there. If you really want to be delusional and manifest things, you can do it. Oh, you can do it. You have a very big imagination. A little dark one, too. A little dark, probably a lot of dark. You be the type of person who can create the crime scenes, right? Like just in your mind. Like, oh, this person killed him here and sliced him there and did all that there. Oh, that person probably was sexually abused. Yeah. Oh, that person, oh yeah, they probably had, a parent that, was alcoholic. All types of stuff. You can see through people very easily. You can see it very quickly. And you like pulling out people's traumas for them, which is good. Okay. But the thing about you, how you lost your power, is that you latch on to it. Like you keep on to it. You're keeping the wound. You're not letting it heal. You keep opening it back up because you're curious. Oh, you're a curious little cat, aren't you? You're curious about the wound, so you keep opening up and you don't allow it to heal. And through that, infections can happen. Okay? You gotta let some things go. You're like Nancy Drew. You like to solve the mysteries, but keep allowing mysteries to come to you and stop trying to solve the same mystery, right? Is what I'm hearing. So you need to make sure that you're expanding your subconscious beliefs, like you're expanding your imagination and not just thinking about one thing over and over and over again, aka your trauma. You just keep thinking about your trauma over and over again. Start imagining something different, something that you actually like and that you desire, because Pluto will bring your desires to you. Pluto is the wealthiest of all the planets. Pluto can bring whatever you desire out of your subconscious and into the conscious. So if you keep replaying the same thing in your head over and over, getting trapped, then that's where your issue lies. That's where your trauma lies. That's where your wound lies. But your power, how you take that back, is imagining and manifesting. And you don't even have to actively go towards nothing, because the 12th house is all divine timing anyway. Only spirit can control the 12th house. So when you imagine and when you plan for your success and when you plan for your power, then spirit can give that to you. But you've been planning for all your traumas, planning for hurt, planning for pain, and that's what you keep getting, right? So you need to plan for something different. Okay, that was all 12 houses. Like and subscribe this video, and I will see you in another one. Peace. Bye.